Hey Exiles, how's it going? Back in with a new build video. This time it's Ignite EK. I pretty much maxed out my Tornado Shot Deadeye. It's doing everything I wanted to do. It's just a super fast, high damage murder machine. So now I need to play something a little bit more clunky just to kind of help with the TS brain rot. So this is not a cheap build. I've probably burned, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 divs putting this together. I'm doing the Widow Hail version. I crafted a few quivers. This is the one I landed on now. You get a eye level 75 to 79. Spam Hysteria essences for the as extra fire until you hit basically good prefixes. In this case, I hit T1 life. Then what you do is fill up the suffixes. Make sure, ideally with a crafted mod. Then you use a Redeemer Orb, and you have like it's like 50 to 75% chance to hit as extra cold, which is pretty awesome. So I was able to hit this first try. Then I did a Reforge, or not Reforge, Lock Prefix Veiled Chaos for the elemental damage. And it's cool just because all of that gets tripled. And then the rest is just pretty generic. I got my Element Avoidant Boots, Local Flame for defenses, Curse on Hit Ring. I'm trying out Replica Dragonfang instead of Gloomfang. Everybody seems to use Gloomfang, but I kind of like this. Then one thing I'm doing is running 3 Heralds, but also using these Herald effect buff tattoos. So I shamelessly stole this stuff from Rue, but basically it turns it back into the old triple Herald scaling that Elementalist used to have. So with Discord Artisan, you're increasing the buff effect here, then has something like 150%, or maybe not 100, like 100% increased buff effect on all my tattoos. So you're just really scaling the heck out of Purity Fire, Purity of Ash, and then I tossed in Herald of Ice just for the fun of it. But this gives me like 35% more physical damage. This is like 35% extra fire. And then this is a non-insignificant amount of flat and then percent cold. Let's see. We got a pretty good Lethal Pride here. I managed to get 15% as extra fire, as well as 5% taken as Fizz taken as fire. So that one's pretty great. But then we're just running Warrior's Tale, of course. I've got some projectile speed tattoos here. Coming all the way down here for suppression, and I'm getting Pierce because I'm not using the Gloomfang, so you need some form of either chain or pierce. This isn't the best, but this projectile mastery is okay. Yeah, let's see. So I'm getting full conversion with Watchers, Mastery, and then Glovecraft. And then I was using a Storm Shout for Element Avoidance. Doing a lot of talking. Let's just run a quick map here. And when I played my RF build earlier in the league, and I had the Ignite Prolif Explosions, I knew I was going to have to try a full-on Ignite build. And unfortunately, there's just not enough strength that you pass through to use the Explode tattoos. Those would be the most obvious solution. I'm basically just using one right now and on the strength node between Ranger and Shadow. So it's 4%, but hey, might as well. But now I just recently added in Herald of Ice, and it actually does proc a fair amount of the time because my EK is just hitting so hard. I'm not using deadly ailments or anything. It's hitting hard enough to freeze and then shatter, so that kind of helps with the chaining explosions a little bit. And then it's nice because you get AoE from Elementalist, of course, and then either Discord Artisan or the other one next to it also gives you more Herald AoE, so my pops are pretty big. The main thing I want to fix is I either need to get a higher tier Prolif implicit, because right now I'm using, I think, just like the basic one, 1.2 meter proliferation, which feels kind of small. The Fan the Flames cluster jewel that I used on my Inquisitor is 1.5 meters. And I think that might be the... I'd have to use the Orb of Dominance. But I've been thinking I need to recraft some of my bases anyway. Because... Oh, what the fuck? Okay, I guess we can't jump over that wall. Because I'm EV right now, but pretty much all I'm using evasion and armor evasion bases just for like suppression. But I don't know, kind of find myself having ES issues. So I think if I could get maybe a couple hundred more ES, that would just be better. And I wouldn't have to rely on my reduced cost flask so much to cast haste. But overall, this is a fun build. It's flashy. It's a little bit slow. So there's some improvements I still need to make. I've been thinking about adding in Legacy of Fury, the Maven boots for Scorch, which would be more damage, but I'd have to make up element avoidance somewhere. I guess I could always just forego it, but you know, we'll see. But it's like around 3 million Ignite DPS, which isn't great, but it's good enough for, you know, most T16 content. But I was thinking that I haven't really done too much Delirium mapping this league, and with a good Ignite character, Ignite's good for Deli content, so might give that a go. But yeah, this is build vlog number 4. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be making any more characters, but I still got a lot of play left in this one and some of my others, so stay tuned. I will be updating this build. That's one great thing about Ignite EKs. There's a lot of upgrades you can do over time, so stay tuned, and I will see everybody next time. Ciao.